Hi, I'm Brian Pierce, and this is Flyin Bryan. It's a channel about the joys and heartbreaks of airplane ownership. So, well, we're going to start off today's video with going on a little flight. And how do we start off a flight? Is by doing a good walk around. All right, so we're just getting things opened up here. Let's just get all the covers off. So we put the keys up on the dash so that we can see that it's safe. Remove the control lock. And I'm going to put the master on and just lower the flaps a little bit. Alright, so we start our walk around right here at the left seat. Got the pitot tube off. Just clear the chalk, check the tire, check the brake, make sure we've got brake material. We're going to drain a little bit of fuel. What we're looking for here is water or dirt and fuel, and I'm not seeing any, so that looks good. So then we move back over the fuselage. We're looking for any damage or popped rivets or such. Want to make sure we got good movement on our elevator and the rudder. These are areas where things can get banged up. You know, the antenna, the lights. So we want to make sure that those are nice and clear. You want to make sure you untie your tail. When I was working as a flight instructor, a couple of times people who rented actually forgot to do this, and they powered their way out, but they had a rope trailing behind them. Same thing over here, tire, brake, and drain. Again, looks clear. And back here, check over our flap. Make sure everything moves nicely, that all our bolts are properly attached on. So we're doing a fuel dip up here to make sure that we're leaving with the amount of fuel that we expect to have. So it looks like 16 gallons. Okay, so we're just going to remove these covers here. This is to prevent birds from getting in there and building a nest, and it actually happened to us, and the entire engine compartment here was filled with hay and stuff from a bird that built a nest that got in, so you want to prevent that. So just checking the prop over here for cracks or nicks. Looks good. Then down here we check the air filter, and we also check our oleo, make sure we got at least 3 fingers of oleo, and our front tire looks good. Okay, so we're just going to check the oil here. So we have 6, which is good to go. Also, while this is open, it's a good idea to take a look around in here, make sure everything is looking good, and we want to close this up and latch it securely. All right, so we'll just check our static port here. It's nice and clear. And also our pitot tube. We want to make sure there's nothing in it so that we get good airspeed and altimeter readings. All right, so we're checking our stall warning here. Some of you may have seen one that's more like a hole and it makes a sound, okay? This one here, it's actually an angle of attack indicator, so it style. Basically, if we're stalling, this lifts up and it closes a switch, which gives us a warning horn inside. Okay, so control surfaces and flaps over here. All right, so we're done the external, everything looks good, so let's get in the airplane and go flying. Okay, so we're just plugging in the headset. People always ask, oh, which plug goes where? And I always say it's idiot proof, because if you try to do it the wrong way, it actually doesn't work. So it only works one way, which makes it easy for us. All right, so as a pilot, you always want to be using a checklist. So here for pre-engine start, we've got pre-flight inspection, which we've done. That was the outside. Okay, next would be passenger briefing. So if you're coming flying with me, I would want to give you the briefing of first thing. We got a fire extinguisher right here. Okay, that's where we can grab that. We've got a first aid kit that's in the back of the airplane there. We've got an emergency locator transmitter. It's in the tail, but there's a button right here. So I always tell my passengers that if we have to make an unscheduled landing and I'm not able to check that, to make sure that it's on. The emergency locator transmitter will help them find us, right? We've got some air sickness bags in there and there if our passenger needs those. If two of us are going to be flying the airplane, I just remind them that I'll say you have control, and if you could answer back, I have control, so that we know who actually is flying the airplane at the time. I always ask passengers to also look for other airplanes, other traffic, birds, things that can help me out in flying. I would also make sure that they know how to take their seatbelt off, and how the latching mechanism on a Cessna operates, so that they can get out if need be. So passenger briefing is done. Let's continue with our pre-start. So my brakes are set and I'm holding them. The throttle open 1/4 inch. Okay, prop area is clear. We check that again. This is the first time I take the key down, so that we're going to have a hot prop at this point. So mags are on both. I'm going to give the call out, clear. And we're going to start her up.
So as soon as we get a good engine start, we've got a couple of things to check. We want to check the oil pressure and temperature. Now I'm going to set my radio so that we can talk to people. Down near the runway, we do our run-up, we do our final checks. We record the time, check our instruments, turn on our lights, make sure our transponder is ready, and we're ready to go. So today I'm just going to show you one circuit. So after takeoff and climb out, we turn left on crosswind, then we'll turn left again on downwind, and then we'll do our pre-landing checks. So we'll do our pre-landing checks. Primer's locked, master's on, both magnetos. Check our oil levels, check our fuel levels. We'll put on our carburetor heat and put on our landing lights. At this point we're on the final leg. You see the runway down there? They're not always easy to spot in these small rural aerodromes. So at this point we've got a couple of notches of flap. Our power is controlling our descent, keeping our airspeed reasonable, and we're just allowing the aircraft to settle down. And just as we settle down, you'll hear the stall warning. That's expected. So that was my very first Flyin Bryan video. I hope you enjoyed it. I apologize that it's a little bit rough, but I promise with practice I will get better. Please like and subscribe in order to follow along with all my future adventures and misadventures. Until we fly again.